Alright, so here's chapter 13. This is Frankie's chapter. So this is as she gets home from film club. As my ma my nou sien met hierdie poffer gehuilde gesig. Poffer is puffy, so poffer gehuilde, puffy face from all the crying. Bel sy dadelik 'n sielkundige, she'll phone a psychologist. So we know her mom is oorsensitief and neuroties. That's two ways in which Frankie often describes a mom, oorsensitief and neuroties. And she says, if she has to see me with my face puffy from crying, she's definitely phoning a psychologist. Ek storm op met die trappe na my kamer toe en sluit die deur. Met skoene en al gaan sit ek op my bed met my bene teen my lyf opgetrek. So when she gets home, she runs straight up to her room, doesn't talk to her mom, climbs on top of her bed. Ek maak my iPod staan op sy docking station. Ek is lus vir iets wat raas, so Skin van Skunk and Nancy. Nee, te hel met old school. Ek wil nou Soul Jacker Part 1 van Eels hoor. 22 miles of hard road, 33 years of tough luck. Uit die boonste laai van my bedkassie haal ek 'n A5 sketsboek en 'n dun swart pen. So a little a book that she likes to make sketches in, and a black pen. Ek sit en doodle tot ek iets geteken het wat my laat beter voel. So while she's listening to this music and she says, angry music, something that makes a noise, she listens to music and she draws until she feels better. Ek is lus vir 'n wafel met roomys. She feels like having a waffle with ice cream. Maar sien nie kans om dit by Gloria te gaan eet nie. She doesn't want to go down to the hookafee. Die kans is te goed dat ek my sal vasloop in die gehipnotiseerde rot. She says, chances are too good, or too well, that I will bump into the hypnotized rat. With capital letters, this is how she's referring to Milan. Gehypnotiseerde rot, because he sat in front of Myrna like he was a hypnotized rat. Die idee van 'n rot laat my dink aan Black Larat, die graffiti-kunstenaar van Frankryk. My nuutste aankoop. 'n nuutste aankoop, one of her new books that she's bought, one of those imported books from the bookshop. Wat vinnig besig is om my gunsteling boek te word. She says it's becoming her favorite book. Ek grawe dadelik in my bedkassie na my skelmsak en haal sy boek daaruit. Getting through the walls. Remember, in her bedside table, she has a sports bag, and underneath the loose bottom of the sports bag, she's hiding her graffiti books from her mom. Vir hom was die woord rat 'n anagram vir art. Ek sny 'n stensel van een van sy rotte op bladsy 14 van die boek en steek die sak weer weg. So Frankie makes a stencil of one of his rats. Die stensel hou ek in my sketsboek in die bedkassie laai tot later. She says, this stencil I'm keeping until later. So she has a plan. She plans on using it, but later. Ek haal my lysie van benodighede vir 'n gorilla kunstenaar onder uit die laai. So Frankie has made a list of things that she needs to become a graffiti artist or a gorilla artist. 'n klein gereedskapkissie, a little toolbox, waterverf, so water paint, aangemaakte lym. Remember Milan made that the paste from the pancake mix. So lime, that's the same type of thing. Verfkwaste, paintbrushes, rubber handskoene, rubber gloves, 'n kunsleer vir stencils, so art file to keep the stencils in, 'n onderbaadjie, a sleeveless jacket met baie sakke with lots of pockets so that she can put chalk and a bandana and stencils and whatever she needs to in those pockets. Swart klere, black clothes, 'n klein rollertjie, a small roller brush en alle klere bordkruit, chalk. Ek het nog 'n paar aankope om te doen. She says, I still need to do quite a bit of shopping. She's not nearly ready to go out into the streets. My gesig in die spieël is nie meer rooi en opgehewe nie. So by now she's calmed down She says her face in the mirror, when she checks, is not red and puffy anymore. Ek trek my skoolklere uit en bondel dit in die wasgoedmandjie. Toe klim ek stadig die trappe af en gaan groet my ma. Sy sit agter haar werkstafel. Remember, her mom is a juwelier, so she's a jewelry designer. And when Frankie goes and looks for her, she's sitting in her behind her work table. Ek buig af en soen haar. Ek voel eintlik sleg toe ek sien hoe haar gesig ophelder. So when Frankie walks down and she gives mom a hello kiss, mom's whole face lights up. Frankie says, I actually feel bad when I see how happy she is when I say hello to her. They don't have a very good relationship. Frankie finds her mom very irritating. Waarmee is ma besig? What are you busy with? Kommunikasie, verduidelik sy trots en hou 'n dun silwer ring na my toe uit. Remember, she does very fine work, very detailed work. And Frankie's dad, his theory is, because she's always working with small things and working through a looking glass, that's why she's so neurotic. That's why all the small things matter to her so much. So now, Frankie says, what are you doing? And she says, communication. And then she shows Frankie a thin silver ring. Bo-op het sy twee piepklein figuurtjies vasgesoldeer. So she's attached two tiny little figures on top of this thin ring. Die vroutjie sit bene gevou, so the little girl is sitting, or the female sitting with her legs crossed. So gevou, legs crossed. En die mannetjie sit oorgeleun na haar, asof hy baie goed na haar luister. And then the little man is leaning over towards the girl, as if he's listening very carefully. Dit maak my sommer weer van vooraf chankerig. Frankie says, when she sees it, she feels like crying again, because that's how she felt with Milan, as if he always listens. Ek draai vinnig van haar af weg. Groen tee met suurlemoen, vra ek, en wen haar hart. Frankie says, would you like some green tea with lemon? And she says she knows she wins her heart. That's her favorite tea. Jy's 'n engel, sê sy. Nee, dink ek. Ek is eintlik 'n anarchis en 'n boef, en binnekort betree ek die strate as 'n gorilla kunstenaar. So Frankie doesn't answer her mom, but she says, if only you knew, I'm definitely no angel. Soon I'm going to hit the streets as a guerrilla artist. Pa kom laat huis toe. Remember, Dad is a chef and he owns his own cooking school, so he comes home late from work. Hy lyk soos 'n opgevrommelde stuk papier, stokflou van die werk. He looks like he had a horrible day at work. 3 van hen het in ons platsak geroof, kla hy. Ek sit die koffiekan met geweld op die stoof neer en skink terselfdertyd vir hom 'n whisky. Remember, her dad speaks Vlaams and Frans. He doesn't really speak Afrikaans, and we never hear him speaking English. So in the exam or in a test, if I ask you what are the 2 languages Frankie's dad speaks, there's Frans and Vlaams. So as he gets home, Frankie makes him coffee and pours a whiskey at the same time. Hoekom gaan julle twee nie uit eet nie? Of gaan kyk 'n fliek? Ek wil tyd wen. Frankie says, she wants some time alone. So she says, why don't you two go out for supper or go to the movies? Jy kan tog nie alleen by die huis bly nie, Frankie, sê my ma. Haar oë is koel rond by die gedagte. Immediately, Mom makes her eyes big and round and she says, surely you can't stay home alone, Frankie. And this is Frankie's reaction. She lists every safety measure that they have. Panic button, alarm, blitspatrollie, buurtwag. Hallo ma, ek's nie meer 'n kind nie. Pa kyk verwonderd op. Een goeie plan. He agrees. He says, that's a good idea. Hy knik met sy groot kop met die bosserige hare en vryf oor sy maag. Kom, knik hy vir ma. Laten wy na een restaurant gaan, waar ook al heb ek reeds een buik soos een burgemeester. He says, let's go and eat out, even if I already have a belly like a mayor. I'm fat enough. Let's still go out for dinner. Ek gee hom 'n druk en soen my ma se wang. voordat ek vinnig met my bak 2-minute noodles kamer toe loop, bang dat hulle dalk van plan gaan verander. So Frankie quickly goes to her room before they change their minds and decide they'd rather stay. Op pad uit hoor ek hoe my ma nog protes aanteken oor al die vreeslike dinge wat my moontlik kan oorkom. So as they walk out, Mom is still protesting and she's listing all the horrible things that can happen to Frankie. Maar gelukkig is my pa so verslaan deur die dag dat hy haar letterlik by die huis uitsleep. He's been beaten. He has a most horrific day and he just pulls her out of the house and says, no, we're going out for supper. Uiteindelik is ek home alone. Toe die motor wegdrein, sit ek die DVD wat ek in die posbus gekry het, dadelik in my laptop. Remember one night the phone rang and someone said your post box, and she got this DVD, Exit Through the Gift Shop. Dis 'n dokumentêr oor straatkunstenaars van reg oor die wêreld. Ek sien Banksy met sy gesig heeltemal verdonker onder 'n breërandhoed. Sy donker rookstem en sy enorme hande, ook vir Swoon, Shepard Fairey en Space Invader. My vel kriebel van opwinding. Ek eet 3/4 van 'n boks smiley face koekies op sonder om te registreer. Toe ek na ongeveer 'n uur en 'n half die garage deur hoor kraak, steek ek die laptop onder my bed in en gryp 'n boek. So when she hears the garage door after an hour and a half, she quickly puts the laptop under her bed and grabs a book. Ook net betyds, just in time. Want my ouers kom dadelik op na my kamer om goeienag te sê. They come straight up to Frankie's room to come and say goodnight. Duidelik het hulle die aand geniet, so they obviously had a good evening. Pa se neus is rooi en sy hare is deurmekaar. Die van Lifflins het 'n grens verskuif. 'n Grens verskuif, she says we've moved a border tonight. In other words, something has changed in our house. They're going to give her some more responsibility and maybe a little bit more freedom. They went out, everything was fine, and they see they can trust Frankie. Ons sê oor en weer nag en ek gaap lang, vals gape. Kort daarna is die huis weer stil en ek haal my laptop onder die bed uit. Ek Google al die kunstenaars wat ek in die DVD gesien het en ook ander wat ek op straatkuns websites kan opspoor. Jeff Aerosol, ek noem hom sommer Jan Spuitkant, Neckface, Twist, Mystique, Shepard Fairey, Swoon en natuurlik my twee gurus, Banksy en Black Rat. Moose, wat sy graffiti met waterseep en bleikmiddels op die vuil Londense mure post, beïndruk my. Frankie likes clean graffiti. Right, environmentally friendly, omgewingsvriendelike graffiti. So this guy, Moose, he takes water, soap and bleach. And then he cleans the dirty walls in London and creates pictures with the clean bits. Ek hou daarvan. Dis nou goeie guerrilla maniere. Teen 1 uur is ek so opgewerk deur straatkuns dat ek nie kan slaap nie. Ek sluip teen die trappe af om Milo te gaan maak. Môre is die dag wat ek en my rot die strate van Groenpunt gaan aanvat. So, she sleeps, she doesn't sleep. She says by 1 o'clock, she's so worked up after watching all of these graffiti artists that she goes downstairs, makes a Milo, and she decides tomorrow is the day that I'm going to post graffiti. I'm going to post my rat. Terwyl ek met die trappe afsluip, sien ek deur die venster 'n beweging by pa se staal motorhek. This is important, alright? She says as she's walking down the stairs, she sees movement by the steel motorgate. She sees some movement there. Ek skreef my oë om beter te kan sien. So she stands there and she looks very carefully to see if she can see something else. Maar daar's niks. Dit was seker die kunstenaar wat in die straat bokant ons woon, wat met sy hond gaan stap het. Blykbaar skilder hy al sy lewe lank in die nag en slaap bedags. So there's an artist that lives in the street just above Frankie's house, and apparently he paints at night and then he sleeps in the day. So at night time, he takes his dog for a walk. She says maybe that's what she saw. Dit maak nou skielik vir my sin. Dis baie meer opwindend om snags besig te wees met iets skepends. Skepends is to be creative, and she says, she understands him. It's very exciting to be creative at night. Terwyl ander mense slaap, is jy op jou geheime sending. So when other people sleep, you are on a secret mission. Konkel en beplan jy jou donker werk, en net jy alleen is in beheer daarvan. You are alone and you're the only one in control of your work, and that's what she likes. Ek maak die melk op die gasbrander warm, so on the gas burner, she heats the milk. Van die mikrogolf se ping geluid sal my ma wakker maak. We know mom's a very light sleeper. Toe die Milo klaar is, haal ek 'n pakkie Romany creams uit die kas en gaan klim in my bed. Die Milo maak my dadelik slaperig. Ek droom ek is die dogtertjie wat Banksy op 'n muur in Londen gestensel het. Die wind waai sterk van agter, sodat my hare verby my wange stroom. Ek steek angstig my hand uit na 'n groot rooi hart wat soos 'n ballon aan 'n touwtjie van my wegwaai. So this little girl, the one that Banksy painted on a wall in London, is a little girl who holds on to a balloon, and it looks like the wind is quite strong from behind because it blows her hair past her face. So if you look at the front page of your question book, that's the picture on the front page of your question book. And here, Frankie says she dreams that she's that little girl. And later on in the book, she will dream about this girl, quite a few times more. But this is the first time she dreams that she's reaching out to catch a balloon, a big red heart that looks like a balloon that's blowing away from her. So there you go, chapter 13 of Aquasi. I hope you guys enjoyed it.